It's your boy Jose from Big Meat Sports. How are you guys doing on this lovely, lovely Monday? Week one of the NFL season is over and done with. But before we start this episode, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the page. Greatly appreciate it. And don't forget, we are also on Spotify and all other major podcast websites. So now for this episode, we got my man JC Lara on this episode. How are you doing,
What's
man?
up?
It's
Hey, remember
good.
when you edited, you got to cue the round of applause.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll do a round of applause. Yeah, because I haven't seen you in such a long time.
I'm doing good though, man. It's good to be back.
That's great to see you. It sucks that we don't get to see each other and do more podcasts because I feel that you're very knowledgeable and very knowledgeable in basketball. But football, you have a very great passion for the game, and it's good to see. It's good to get feedback from you. So, man, it's great.
I appreciate
great to have
that,
you.
man. Well, football season's back, so that means I'm back.
Yeah. All right. So since football season back and week one is done and over with, tell me, Dolphins versus Pats. What I didn't get to see that game because unfortunately I was doing my daddy duties and I was at Disney on Ice.
Disney on Ice, I saw
So
that.
yeah, so let me know what. So because I saw it was a close game, 17-6. Dolphins pull out the victory. What propelled and what did you like that you saw from the Dolphins?
So 17-16, very close game. I told you beforehand, I had a feeling we were going to come out firing, and we did. We scored a touchdown on our very first drive, which is what I wanted to see. The offense was moving quickly. We were keeping their defense on their toes, and we scored convincingly. Tua could have had it whatever way he wanted. He had a wide open tight end. He decided to run it in himself. But it was great, man. Offensively, I loved what we were doing. We had a good balance of runs and screens and nice catches on the first drive. But that was pretty much it for the first half. Except for that third quarter right before the half, we scored a field goal. We were moving the ball. I liked what I saw from the defense. Obviously not as great as everyone expected us to be, but we're kind of a bend, don't break type of defense. We're very disciplined, which is what I love from Brian Flores. He has his team very disciplined. They tackle well. They gave up a touchdown, which came immediately after that BS call, that BF rough in the passer call. I'm not sure if you got a chance to see that.
Oh yeah, where he was tackling at the legs, but who was Baker that ran over somebody and then tried to.
No, it wasn't Baker. It was Landon Roberts.
Oh, okay.
Ex-Patriot, actually.
Okay.
He beat out Benardrick McKinley, ex-Pro Bowler, who we traded for, and we actually released right before during the final cuts. But this guy's been playing amazing. He got hurt last year, so he came back. He's great with the run, passion, rushing the passer. But he had a clean break in there. He knocked that guy down, whoever it was, Damian Harris, whoever the running back was, knocked him out.
Yeah.
And he got to Mac, and I thought it was great. It was going to set him back. Probably going to be another field goal, but they called a BS roughing the passer call. And then they ended up getting the touchdown. No excuses at the end of the day. The defense gave up that. But nonetheless, I was impressed on how they played. Obviously, they weren't throwing to Xavier Howard's side of the field, which was awesome. They don't have receivers anyway like that.
Yeah.
But they were more throwing toward Byron Jones, and he did an amazing job. He also had a sack that game. So yeah, man. But at the end of the game, Xavier Howard on their final drive, no interceptions. Again, they weren't throwing to his side, but he still found a way to create a turnover with that forced fumble, which gave us the ball back. We never gave it back to him. We ended up ending the game on that. But yeah, no, I was impressed. I'm used to, as a Dolphins fan, I'm used to us losing these type of games.
Yeah.
Where we're up or we're just getting by and we end up losing. I've seen so many times Brady do that to us on a final drive and ended on a kick or a touchdown or whatever, but we end up losing those games, or in the past we did.
Yeah.
But we won. So no excuses out of me. No complaints out of me. I've seen a lot of complaints from people online, whether it's IG or Twitter. But a win is a win. At the end of the day, we're 1-0 and everybody else in the AFC East is 0-1. So I'm not gonna complain.
So what's your take on Mac Jones on seeing him the first time? Do you think that, he's legit, or you think he's just another bum Alabama quarterback, except for Tua,
I liked him, man. To be honest with you, I hate the Patriots. I hate to say this, but he looked solid, man. He looked really good under pressure.
Mhm.
I think he got sacked once or twice in the game. He had a forced fumble. Not a forced fumble. He fumbled the ball, which they recovered. Byron Jones sacked him. So I think he only got sacked twice, but he could have been sacked at least 5 more times. And it was all on third down when we were blitzing. And he'd find a way to get the ball out of his hands and into the receivers. So I liked him, man. He looked very poised back there. He had pocket presence. I can see why they chose him over Cam Newton. He gels much more better with what they're trying to do offensively. So I liked him. I'm not going to hate. Honestly, I didn't like him coming out of college. I didn't think he was first-round pick worthy.
Yeah.
But, hey, Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels, they know what they're doing. And the kid showed heart, and he actually kind of outperformed Tua in a way. The way he was managing that offense and he was just, he was poised, man. He was confident, for a rookie being his first game playing a top 5 defense. That was impressive.
Now your next game, who do the Dolphins face?
Buffalo.
It's Buffalo.
Coming off a loss at home.
What would you like to see them improve from this past game to going into that Buffalo game?
Man, our third down defense. This was giving me flashbacks to the Tony Sparano days, Joe Philbin days, where on third and long, these teams were always converting on us. First, second down, we're stuffing the run. We're deflecting passes. But on 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 8, they're completing these basic slants and they're getting the first downs. I think our defense needs to tighten up on third down. Obviously, we got to do better against the run. Our run defense wasn't that good. Defensively, yes. Offensively, Tua, as much as I want to, like him, and I got his jersey and I was wearing it all day proudly. And I thought he looked, he looked better, but he's holding onto the ball way too long. And he needs a little bit more zip on those throws. Yes, he's accurate. There were a couple passes there that were dropped by receivers. Wasn't his fault. But there were also ones that were overthrown or, just mental mistakes where, you had that one interception where it looked like he was throwing it out of bounds, but didn't have the arm strength to get there. And it was actually intercepted. Could have been caught by 2 of our receivers, but heads up play by the New England cornerback. But yeah, I think we need to run the ball more too. And we need more design screens, especially with a guy like Myles Gaskin, Ahmed, those guys that are, they're speedsters. We need to get them more involved in the game. I was disappointed Albert Wilson didn't have any catches. I think they targeted him maybe once. Other than Devontae Parker and Jalen Waddle, we need to target our other guys. And Mike,
I need you to target Mike Gesicki because
I know,
man, gave me 0 points.
Gesicki was targeted maybe twice that game, and he's probably one of our best receivers, if not the best. And he's supposed to have a breakout year. This is his money year. This is when he's trying to prove himself. So I think they're going to build that chemistry. They already have that chemistry, but again, New England's defense is very good. So,
hey, you convinced me to keep Gesicki.
I did. Well, it was a very low keeper pick. I think it was like the 14th pick you lost. So you're good. But yeah, man, I just want to see our offense open up a little bit more. I think at times we were a little too conservative. We were also a little bit predictable. For example, earlier in the first half on a 4th and 1, we brought in Jacoby Brissett, and he's much bigger than Tua. And he took in the quarterback sneak, which worked very well. They did it again.
Yeah.
I knew you knew it was coming, and they almost stopped him, but he got some pushback there, and he ended up getting the first down, which we ended up ending the game on that. But yeah, I think we ran the same play for Devontae Parker like 3 times. Granted, he caught the ball all 3 times, but they were just basic slants. I want to see a little bit more involvement with Waddle, although he got involved very quickly yesterday. But I want to see some deep routes. I want to see him on some screens, maybe, some trick plays, utilize his speed a little bit more. We have so much speed on that offense, but I felt like yesterday we were not using it to our advantage. But then again, we are playing New England, Bill Belichick. who's great when it comes to preparing for those type of plays. So,
and their defense was
overall
different from last year because a lot of people didn't play because of COVID. So they got a lot of pieces coming back. So the only person I don't think that really actually is out is Stephon Gilmore. So,
which he didn't play, but you wouldn't even notice because we weren't really targeting. We weren't throwing the ball that much down the field. I think Devontae had like a 30-yard. I wouldn't call it a bomb, but he had a great catch down the sideline. That was pretty much the only time we went deep. I want to see us, and I know Will Fuller coming back in week 2. That's going to change some things. We were also without Preston Williams, so I think once we have our full receiving core back, we'll be able to see a little bit more creative plays from maybe Waddle, design plays for Albert Wilson and those type of guys. But we need to run the ball more. I think Gaskin only ran the ball about 9 times. I think we ran the ball 20 times in total. But New England dominated time of possession, so we barely had the ball. But it's important that we did put some points on the board and we ended up winning the game. So I'm happy with that.
That's good. So we're gonna go to my team now, and they played on Thursday night, and Cowboys versus the Bucks. I mean, wow, what a game to start off the year. This game lived up to the hype.
We need more of those.
A lot of people thought that the Bucks were gonna, blow us out of the water. And my thing was coming into this game, I wanted to see how Dak was gonna, be in the pocket, and he was actually excelled my expectations because Dak in the pocket was smooth, calm, and collective. He was not jittery feet. He had people coming at his legs. He had his own linemen, coming at his legs and stuff like that when they got pushed back to him. And it was exciting to see our offense and my Cowboys team. One thing, and yes, we lost the game. Brady, GOAT. I get that. But my thing is, I think Dallas got this loss because there are so many times we could have scored on almost every single possession that we had. First possession, we had drop passes, then we had a holding call. CeeDee Lamb, dropped 2 passes, one at the beginning of the game, and then one, I believe it was the second or third quarter, where Dak fitted between 3 people and it hit off CeeDee Lamb's hands, and it created an interception, which then Tampa Bay went down and scored. But I'm encouraged what I saw. I just think that we need to finish drives. Also, late in the game where it was, Kellen Moore was calling a really, really good game.
He called a hell of a game, yeah.
Hell of a game. And one of the things I look back on was when it was, I believe it was 3rd and goal, and it was an option play to Zeke, and he had the pylon. He had the corner end zone, but Blake Jarwin didn't set a block. If he was to set that block, Zeke runs into end zone untouched, and it was just like those little subtle mistakes that, yes, you're going to see that in week 1 because a lot of people, they haven't really played again and again. Blake Jarwin has been out since last year. The beginning of last year, this time last year was torn ACL. So it was just frustrating to see our defense. Now I'm kind of torn because you gave up so many yards passing versus Tom Brady, but yet again, Tom Brady, the GOAT, and they're picking on Anthony Brown, which is our worst corner, and they didn't bother to look on Stephon Diggs' side. Diggs' side, because
Diggs, right? That's his name.
Trayvon Diggs. Yeah. Because Mike Evans had 1 reception for 10 yards. But that's our Achilles heel is our who's that second corner, who's that slot corner, because Jordan Lewis got beat on that last play which it was a pass interference, but again, they're not going to call that with a minute left. Okay. But my question to you is, do you see an uptick in Dallas or do you see bad play from Tampa that should have won that game? Do you think that Dallas played, lights out, and without these mistakes, they would have won the game? Or you think that Tampa was trying to give them the game by playing sloppy and not being with
I
4
don't think Tampa
turnovers?
played sloppy at all. I think you guys just hung with them the whole game. You guys came out firing. I was really, really impressed with how you guys came out. And let's be honest, you guys should have won that game. It's unfortunate you have mental mistakes or whatnot, but no, I think it's more on Dallas that's who they are, especially offensively. You guys are going to be, you're going to be up there, top 5 offense. I was watching you guys play that first night, and I kind of wish our playbook would open up that much.
Yeah.
Whether it's Dak being the quarterback, which they have that debate now, whether they think he's top 5. I was so impressed with him that first game. I said, if he keeps this up consistently, he is a top 5 quarterback. You can't tell me he isn't.
Yeah.
So that right there, that's going to bring you guys a lot of hope and a lot of hype for the season. Obviously, granted, if you guys are able to operate and execute the offense that Kellen Moore wants, but I do love the game that he called, and I hope it continues. Obviously, it's going to vary because you didn't run a lot against Tampa because they have a very good run defense.
Yeah, and that's one thing I want them to do better versus the Chargers, because Zeke needs to touch the ball, and it's just even though we control,
and if it's working, it's working. And then also you guys, your offensive line isn't 100%, and you were missing arguably your best tackle, right?
A guard.
He play the game, did he?
Yeah, Zach Martin. He didn't play because he was out for COVID. But now you got we're down Lyle Collins. Zach Martin should be back. Hopefully he is back for this game. The thing is, do you kick Zach Martin out to Collins' spot and keep Connor McGovern? That's just a question. But we're gonna be facing another good defense in the Chargers with Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa, he can wreck a game by himself. So that's somebody.
And they got your boy Derwin James.
Derwin James too. So and they have him everywhere. So it's gonna be interesting.
They had Tyler Heineke up there, throwing dimes.
Yeah,
it's you guys are playing at home.
Matchup. No, we're playing in San Diego. LA.
Damn, 2 straight road games, huh?
2 straight road games. Yeah. The scheduling gods. Actually, I can't say scheduling gods don't like us because we have one of the easiest schedules this year, so we should do good. But 2 back-to-back road games, and then we have, I believe it's 3 home games back to back. So,
and let me ask you, Jose, do you consider this a moral victory for your Cowboys?
Look, I'm not one of those that say consider moral victories, but I do have to say you have to have some excitement for the future of this team. Now it's just those little things on the defensive side that you kind of worry about. We didn't really have a pass rush this past game, but again, Tampa Bay, that's what they did last season, was to get offensive line and keep Brady upright. So they have really good offensive linemen. So you're not going to see that type of offensive line every single game. But you have to have some optimism after seeing that game. And I thought we pulled it out, but then when, again, our kicker, he look, Greg the Leg, he was out most of the summer and preseason with the back surgery, and he missed the wide left, doinked one, and tried to kick a 60-yarder.
At least it wasn't a double doink.
Yeah,
like Cody Parkey.
Hey, and he missed a 6-yarder, but when it came in clutch and when we needed it, he hit the game, put us up. And it's just, we just left too much time for Tom Brady, and Gronk made a hell of a grab one time. We could have had an interception with Diggs. It just went off his fingertips, which would have sealed the game. But hey, you live and you learn, and those are some of the bumps in the road. My thing is, I don't want to see Dallas, play down to their competition, or since they lost the game, don't have any confidence, because they tend to do that in the years past, where you play really good one game and then you just trying to take for granted, and you come back lackluster in the next game, and you lose a game that you're not supposed to really lose, a la when we lost to the Jets.
The Dolphins. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. So some of the
I
other games,
think considering it a moral victory, one last thing on the Dallas game.
yeah,
Considering how bad your defense was last year and how many points you gave up,
yeah,
with those weapons that Brady has, you got the GOAT himself. You got those tight ends, you got those receivers. You guys played pretty well defensively. If you would have made that field goal that was missed earlier in the game, you should have won the game.
yeah.
So I definitely think you should be happy. You should be
Yeah.
happy and inspired that, hey, your team came out firing, and then they should consider to do so moving forward. Now, Michael Gallup is going to be out, right?
Yeah, he's out for 5 weeks for the calf strain.
What was that? Calf strain?
Yeah, calf strain.
Who's the next man up for Gallup?
Cedric Wilson. He's one of our burners. So I have he played. He had a really good game last year versus Seattle. I believe it was over 100 and I want to say 150 yards with 2 TDs versus Seattle. So he's one of our burners. He does have experience. So I'm not. And how we set up. CeeDee Lamb has been playing all over the place. He's in the slot outside. So you can mix and match. The same thing with Amari. So they're not having them just in one spot. They're moving them all around. So if we need to run 2 tight ends, we can run 2 tight ends. But I do think that this upcoming game we need to feature Zeke and let him run the ball and see.
You guys ever feature Pollard as a receiver? Does he ever go out?
Yeah, he does. He does go out. This past game we had both of them in the lineup at once to make that little threat. Pollard did have that little reverse, which was a nice fake. It faked me out, but yeah, I want to see more Pollard too, because Pollard can play that. Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah. But let's go on to the next games, and the Browns versus Chiefs. Now, Chiefs came back and won this game 33-29. And my question to you is just the Browns being the Browns, or can't really. They're fearful of the Chiefs and can't really get over the hump of beating the Chiefs? Or do you think Baker Mayfield is that elite quarterback that can take your team to the next level in the Super Bowl? No,
I think he's a decent quarterback. I don't think he's a Super Bowl. I mean, obviously the Ravens got to the Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
As long as you got that defense, you're good. Same thing with Tampa in 02
when you say Trent Dilfer, I don't see him as a gunslinger as Baker. That's when Baker is more of a gunslinger. And the reason why I'm asking this question about Baker is because look at what he has on offense, and he's going to have OBJ back. They have one of the top offensive lines last year. So they have Jarvis Landry. Yeah, you have Jarvis Landry. You got a top 5 running back. Your defense is it's really good. So I feel like Baker sometimes takes him out of games and is not that good of a quarterback that everybody portrays. Now he does have his moments, but I don't feel Baker is the one that could take you to the promised land.
Yeah, and he has his moments because he's a gamer. Mm-hmm. He's confident. He loves the game. I like his passion, but I think he's all hype. I think most of the time he's all hype. I mean, at the end of the day, with those weapons, with that defense, you should be at the top echelon of the league right now. And to me, Cleveland isn't. And they had their test from week 1. You had your AFC defending champs. Granted, they did play in KC, right?
Yeah, they play KC,
which is a tough place to play in. But you came out firing or whatnot. But Kansas City does this on everybody. They did it to us last year. They did it. It's almost like they want to lose. They want to be down 1 or 2 touchdowns in the first half or in the first quarter, just for them to have a little bit more of a step later and have a little bit more, a little bit, how you call this? I think the comeback thought to them kind of excites them and brings a lot out of their offense out.
Yeah.
Whether it be Tyreek Hill or Kelsey or whatnot, but I think Cleveland's going to be a playoff team. I do believe that. I think they're going to build on what they did last year. Are they ready to go to Kansas City and beat the Chiefs? Hell no. I don't think they're ready to go to Buffalo and beat Buffalo either.
So you think it's imperative for them to get that number 1 seed and have people come play them?
It would be of course. And look, last year it was Kansas City. They went to Kansas City. Was it? No, it wasn't an AFC Championship game. I think it was the game before that. Mm-hmm. Cleveland went to Kansas City and were leading most of the game.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the defense wasn't ready for Patrick Mahomes to take over at the end. But I do think Cleveland has gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
And, once the season goes on, I think they will get better because they do have a lot of talent. And Baker Mayfield isn't a scrub quarterback. To me, he's an average, a little bit above average.
Mm-hmm.
And I love, like I said, I think he's a gamer. I think he loves the way he approaches the game. He's a little cocky, which I like as well, if you can back it up. But that's the thing. He hasn't backed it up.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I just feel like he tries to go for the home run ball instead of managing the game when you're up. That's just my take, because, if you give somebody else that lead, they know where to go. They don't want to take, they check downs, where to go on certain plays. And when, what play to run and kill it at the line and go with a better play. And I don't feel that he does that, so often.
Yeah.
So that's what it's frustrating, because you see the talent there. You see the arm talent. You see the talent all over the place and what he has at his disposal. So it's kind of frustrating that you see that. And you're like, man, this Browns team that, this Cleveland Browns organization that has been suffering for a long time, waiting for a championship.
Maybe he needs to stop doing less commercials.
Probably. I mean, but hey, I'm not gonna knock somebody of getting more money in their bank and cash it in.
No, I get it. Hey, look, Patrick Mahomes is everywhere too.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
He shows up on Sundays.
It's different
consistently.
I feel like this, past few years that a lot of quarterbacks try to be Patrick Mahomes, like in the sense of creating on the fly and throwing off the back foot and so on and so forth. But not everybody is like Patrick Mahomes. Not everybody has an arm. The only person that can compare his Patrick Mahomes and that has just as good as an arm is Josh Allen from Buffalo, where he can do stuff like
Aaron
that.
Rodgers.
I like Aaron Rodgers' arm, but I think he puts more touch to it. Now, straight zip on the ball, I got to give Josh Allen more closer to Patrick Mahomes than Aaron Rodgers. But Aaron Rodgers does have a cannon. I think Aaron Rodgers is more accurate with the ball. Speaking
of Aaron Rodgers, man,
not yesterday, but
God, I couldn't believe like what I was seeing. Like
he gave me 2 points. He gave me 2 points in my fantasy, and I'm losing in fantasy because of him.
Yeah, I know. I have Devontae Adams in our league, and I only got 10 points out of him.
Oh my God, man!
That was just so bizarre. And then I'm looking at the stat sheet, and Jameis Winston 5 touchdowns. Like he gives you those games, every now and then, But then he's gonna follow it up with 5 picks.
And that's the thing with Jameis is like you never know what Jameis you're gonna get. You're gonna get the turnover machine Jameis, or you're gonna get this excellent game. I just think that.
And they were playing in Jacksonville.
They had a good game plan set up for them. They had, all this time to prepare. I don't think Green Bay was prepared, but hey,
it also looks like Aaron Rodgers just didn't want to be there.
But I was thinking the exact same thing, but the Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers tend to have this slow start to the season because he doesn't.
That's
they don't really play.
They
don't really play in the preseason. Aaron Rodgers never plays in the preseason, and then he comes out, and you can't expect him to be on 100%. And throwing dimes out of nowhere, but it's that. What I mean, it's so exciting to see football back. It's great.
Nah, man, yeah, I love it, especially opening day. But man, I had so much fun here just sitting on the couch yesterday and watching all these games. I'm actually going to the Buffalo game this Sunday, and I forgot that I was going. So I was looking at the schedule of all the games, and I was like, damn, there's some good schedules, man. I'm going to have fun flipping through all these games. And I'm like, oh, damn it, I got to go to the Dolphins game. Because I love watching. I prefer watching the games at home.
Yeah.
Because I get to watch all the other games. But, the Dolphins game will be fun.
Yeah. And then one of the other games, and this is the last game we're going to talk about, is the Cardinals versus Titans. Now, a lot of people are expecting the Titans to dethrone Kansas City with their offensive
I don't know who those
weapons.
People are.
With their offensive weapons. I mean, you got Julio Jones.
Buffalo is closer than anybody, and I hate Buffalo.
But you really don't think that Titans can push the envelope, because they almost push the envelope.
I don't think Tannehill has it in him. I don't think Tannehill has had a decent tenure in Tennessee. You know, they moved on from Mariota. They got Tannehill. Obviously, I have my opinion of him as a Dolphins fan.
Yeah.
So I'm a little biased.
Yeah.
But we also did have him for 7 years, and I know his tactics. I know his ways of quarterbacking. I know what he benefits from. I know what isn't good for him. He went to a perfect system. Anytime we had a run game here in Miami, he thrived, but he was limited. He wasn't winning you any games. He was managing those games. When you bring a team like Arizona first week and they have that crazy ass defensive line, Chandler Jones, five sacks against an all-pro left tackle, right?
Yeah,
and the guy was a beast. Tannehill's never done any good against any pressure. He has horrible pocket presence. And I was kind of happy to see them exposed because I did think that Tennessee was a little bit overhyped. What have they done? What have they done? Like, to me, they hadn't done anything.
But it's you have all aspects. It's like, what do you stop? Are you going to stop Julio Jones and AJ Brown, or are you going to stop the run with Derrick Henry? Like, you have to pick your poison. And I think that's, to beat them, Cardinals have really good DBs, and they don't
have a number one corner though. They don't have like I don't know who their corners are.
I just think
Patrick
that
Peterson ain't there anymore.
Yeah, I just think that they played good team defense. Help defense. They knew where they wanted to go. And it
was just a great game plan, man. Great game plan. And Tennessee came out flat.
Yeah, and my thing is, I really haven't heard it, since last night or this morning, but they talk about Zeke when he doesn't get that many touches and he doesn't get that many yards, but where is the Derrick Henry bashing? Where Derrick Henry didn't really have that great of a game last night.
Because Derrick Henry isn't a Dallas Cowboy.
and it's funny because when you say America's team, and you always have something, you're gonna either love us or hate us. There's no in between, okay? Because you're gonna pick at something, and when it's other teams, that are doing the exact same thing, you're like, yo. Talk about that.
You're absolutely right. You're right. It isn't fair at all. I like Zeke.
And look, I just think that the Kyler Murray just came out hot. They caught a Arizona team that has multiple weapons as D-Hop, Kirk. I mean, how many yards Murray had 289 yards.
James Conner. I didn't even realize they had James Conner as a backup running back.
Yeah, and I saw one of his stiff arms, and I was like, "Woo!"
Yeah, he had two of them. Like he had like two of them. But the first guy stiff arm came back and they tackled him. But man, that offense looked insane.
Yeah, and Arizona, even though
they didn't have them this year,
even though they didn't have that good of a season that they wanted to last year.
Yeah,
they still put fear in your eyes because of what Kyler Murray could do as a runner and as a passer. I mean, this guy is just dynamic. He's Lamar Jackson, but can throw the ball. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, yeah, man. And the way the flick of the wrist, man. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I forgot who he bombed it. I think it was Kirk. And Kirk caught it over his shoulder.
Yep.
The way he flicked that thing, it looks so effortlessly. It would take literally my entire body to move for me to throw a ball half as long as that one. But man, it was so beautiful. Oh, he throws a beautiful ball, man.
Yeah. But look, week 1 is almost in the books. We have Baltimore versus Las Vegas Raiders tonight. So it's interesting to see. I want to see who's Baltimore's number 1 go-to running back, or just going to keep it.
Did they elevate
Le'Veon Bell? I'm not sure on Bell. I think he's still because they might keep him out till week 2 due to they want to get his legs back underneath them. They're weak. But I think they still have Latavius Murray, and
they signed Latavius Murray.
They signed Latavius Murray. I believe
really? It wasn't Devontae Freeman.
They got Devontae Freeman's on the practice squad. He's on the practice squad.
Oh man, and I was gonna pick him up because I had a feeling they were gonna.
Yeah, and
who picked him up, man?
I picked up Le'Veon Bell.
I know that.
I saw that. When I saw that, I don't know who picked up Freeman. But all right.
But yeah, right now Baltimore is a running back graveyard.
Let's see. I had it here. Okay, there you go. Some picks. So our picks for
how many picks are we doing?
We're just gonna do 4 picks. Okay.
Right, cool.
So next week's game, Titans versus Seattle. They have Seattle 5.5 favorite. Who do you got?
Seattle.
Yeah.
Oof.
So Titans going 0-2. Woohoo!
Yeah, they're going to start off 0-2 for sure in Seattle with that 12th man coming out hot. Russell Wilson looked like his, an MVP form yesterday. DK Metcalf had a slow start, but he came through. Tyler Lockett was balling. I think, their defense is okay. They kind of remind me of the Dolphins defense, kind of a bend, don't break type of defense. So I think at home for sure with that 12th man behind them, Seattle.
Ooh.
I think I really do think Tennessee got exposed, and I think a lot of coaches are going to be, they're going to be looking at that tape and be like, all right, I think we got something here. I think they know how to attack them now.
Look, Seattle, it's a toss-up for me because I saw how Tennessee got exposed in the secondary and then you're going to go with back-to-back, great wide receivers and DK Metcalf and what's his name? What's the other Seahawks wide receiver's name? I just mind blank right now.
Tyler Lockett.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's two burners. But I'm gonna say Tennessee. I can't see Tennessee going 0-2.
As bad as they looked at home.
You cannot. Mike Vrabel is ripping into Julio Jones already. Reports are saying that was a stupid play that he did with getting a personal foul penalty. So I think he's lighting a fire up their butts, and I'm picking the Titans.
All right, make sure we keep track of this.
We're gonna keep track, and we have it on video too. Dolphins Bills 3.5. I think I know where you're going with this.
Man, I hate. I'm going to be at that game, so I have hopes that it's tough. I kind of wanted Buffalo to win yesterday because I know them losing to Pittsburgh at home, now coming to Miami where they always play very well. They're going to come out firing, and they're going to be pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think Buffalo, it'll be close, but I'm going Miami Dolphins, and I think we're going to come out with a win. So I'm taking my Dolphins, of course.
I like that. Look, for all the reasons you just said about Buffalo losing the first game, that's why I'm taking the Buffalo Bills. Even though I want to go Miami. I love, again, this is hometown. It's a second team that I like. It's even though it's kind of hard to root for because every time you bash my Cowboys, I'm like, you know what? I want the Dolphins to lose so I can go right back at you. I'm gonna say Buffalo is gonna come out with the win, and they're gonna cover that 3.5 spread.
We shall see.
Chiefs versus Ravens. They got the Chiefs at 2.5 favorite.
Sunday night, right?
That's a Sunday night game. Who do you?
It's at Baltimore.
I believe it's at Baltimore.
Oof. Man, what's the line on that? What's the
2.5? So they only have Chiefs winning by. If you're picking the Chiefs, you have to win by 3.
Yeah. Man, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. They're fully healthy right now. They're. You saw how they looked yesterday. It was like they were right back in the Super Bowl. That's they looked in midseason form. Obviously, not that first half where they were down, but I feel like that's every game for them. I just don't think, man, it's gonna be tough because I do think Baltimore has and we'll see them tonight. They're that defense is crazy. I just think they don't have enough on offense. I think when it comes to Lamar Jackson, they're going to stack that box as much as they can, and they're going to force him to throw. They're going to force him to beat them through the air, and I just don't think Lamar Jackson has that. So, and although I do think Baltimore has a great defense, Kansas City has way too many weapons.
I agree with you on that point. With Kansas City eyeing Lamar Jackson, I think the Honey Badger is going to do a QB spy and be on Lamar Jackson everywhere he goes. And if he's holding the ball, whatever the case may be. But I do have the Chiefs winning this game. And I think it's going to be because Baltimore, you're going to see Baltimore be exposed because without Marcus Peters with the torn ACL, I think they're going to be exposed on the defensive side, and especially on this game. And I'm picking the Chiefs winning by 7. I think it's gonna, and if they
Yeah, I kind of
possibly
agree.
could win,
I would say five to 7 points.
it probably could be a blowout. So you never know. But the last
Especially
game
if they haven't they haven't even played. They're playing tonight, so I mean, we'll see how they look tonight. Although I do think they're going to beat the Raiders.
Yeah. That line will change after tonight's game, because you're gonna it's either gonna change for the good or for the worse, and it might change for the worse for Baltimore. The last game we're gonna talk about and we're gonna pick is Dallas versus Chargers. Now I'll start this off, and I'm gonna go with my Dallas Cowboys. They have the Chargers favored by 2.5, and I think that's because it's the Chargers' first home game. But I do believe that Dallas Cowboys can pull off this win. One thing I want to see happen is control the line of scrimmage. With Lyle Collins out, we have to make sure that Joey Bosa doesn't ruin this game, because Joey Bosa is not going to line up on Tyron Smith's side, because you saw what Tyron Smith was doing with the Tampa Bay Bucks pass rushers, and man, I even saw one time he was blocking 2 people. And that's how great of offensive lineman he is. So I'm picking. I think that we get back to our running game and we set the tone with Zeke and open up the field. That's going to open up the field with CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Cedric Wilson. And though they're not going to be afraid of tossing it to Blake Jarwin and Dalton Schultz. They only got 3 receptions each. I think Dustin Schultz had like 30 yards. Blake Jarwin had 25 plus yards. So I think they need to get back to, distributing the ball to the tight ends because it does set up everybody else. And I do have Dallas winning in a close one. And I want to say, but I do think that they win by 4. I think the defense, I feel the defense is legit. The beginning of the Tampa Bay game, Michael Parsons and a lot of nerves and people are out of position, but they settled down in the second half of that game. And I just feel like it translates to this game, even though we're going to be covering great wide receivers. I want to see the matchups. Who does Diggs cover? Is he covering Keenan Allen or is he going to cover Williams? So we'll see how the matchups go.
They just got to be careful with Allen in the middle of that field. I felt like they were doing that to Washington all day yesterday.
Yeah. So, and that's Washington's, Washington doesn't really have that great of linebacker play. But I think we, with Keanu Neal being one of our main linebackers with Michael Parsons, because they played the majority of the snaps, Jalen Smith and Van Der Esch barely got playing time. We'll see how these matchups, but I don't see Dallas going down 2-0. Again, this is one of those scary games. It's the second game of the season. These are one of those games that Dallas tends to, put their guard down, but I do have Dallas coming out with the win.
I don't think they will. I should pick the Chargers because you picked against my Dolphins, but I'm going to pick the Cowboys for a lot of the same reasons you just mentioned. And honestly, I think that they're going to win favorably. I think they're going to put 30 plus on the Chargers. I'm going to say they beat the Chargers 34-21. That's my final score prediction.
And look, my thing with the Dolphins, I want the Dolphins to win, and I'll be excited.
I don't blame you. Trust me. I almost picked the Bills too, but I'm
gonna go with the Bills. And look, the one thing the Dolphins just have to eliminate is a big plays. Eliminate the big plays from Buffalo, and you have a chance to win this game. I just think the Bills thrive on those big plays, and then also the pass rush. You need to take Josh Allen off of his spot, but continue to chase him down because as you saw, TJ Watt,
we need to get more pressure.
Fumble. Yeah, you
definitely need to get more pressure. But I'm realistic. I know the Bills could and might win, but I'm hopeful the Dolphins prepare and they adjust to any mistakes, any mental errors they made against New England, and they play better. And it's the home opener, so we shall see. But I do know Buffalo they lost, and they're gonna be hungry for that win. So we shall see.
Yeah. Well, that's it for this episode. What a great episode, man.
Man.
We can talk forever, and that's why I love speaking with you, and I love having you on this show. But yeah, man, it's great to have you back. It's great to have football back, and I can't wait for this week 2 on coming up. Looks like I'm going to be in fantasy 2 out of 3 victories. So and again, Aaron Rodgers killed me on the fantasy, but Thank you guys.
Yeah, kills me too. I mean, Devontae Adams should have had. I could still win the game. I got Darren Waller tonight, which I hope he balls out, and Justin Tucker, and Bob has Lamar Jackson and Marquise Brown. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But again,
right,
thanks for tuning in.
Oh, I'm playing you next week in fantasy.
That's a loss there, buddy.
All right, man.
And thank you guys for tuning in to Big Meat Sports, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Thank you, guys.